how, what to do to solve the numerous problems being faced by several African nations, including Cameroon. The issue about having good governance, the issue about having good infrastructures, the issue about having good economy, the issue about solving the problems of the youth, the issue about having good education system, the issue about having a good health system has often been a problem across several African countries, with Cameroon inclusive, and many Africans have been questioning the theme that more than 60 years after we regain our independence, how come our economy is still in sham? More than 60 years after most of us in Africa regain our independence, how come our education system is producing graduates who cannot perform when it comes to delivering, especially at the time when most of our engineering schools are graduating engineers, but the construction of our roads, bridges, and some major infrastructures are not done by the engineers that we train or that graduate from our institutions. Also, at the level of information technology, it is evident that most of the jobs are being outsourced by our governments in Africa to foreigners and those whom they think have a better experience, despite the fact that we have been graduating students with different diplomas, certificate, PhD, master's degree, bachelor's of science, higher national diploma, BTech, just to name these in these fields. Yet 60 years after that, we are unable to recruit the same persons. Many are asking the question, 60 years after, our infrastructures are terrible. Our roads, despite the fact that we have abundant human and natural resources, that our roads and our buildings and our structures are dilapidating and there are nothing to write home about. In fact, many people have been killed and are being killed by poor roads more than the way in which Ebola, or more than the way in which COVID-19 killed in Africa. If you look at the death toll of many nations in Africa, it is killing more. Many people die of road accident due to poor roads than many who die in the hospital because of malaria or any other disease. Also, so they're asking the question, why is it that it's so difficult for us to fix our roads, to make the road habitable for many? The question and the answer to that question is simply embezzlement, mismanagement, and misappropriation of funds across most of our nations in Africa. Also, the question many are asking is that when you look at the politics being played in Africa, it is full with hate politics, where if you don't support a particular political party, then you are not worthy to speak or your voice to be heard. Many have been called names. In fact, cyber politics is an issue of the day. If you doubt me, go to Kenya, where it is either the Kikiyus or the Luos or the Moors. If you doubt me, go to Nigeria, where it is either the Igbo or the Yahuzas or the Yorubas. If you doubt me, you come to Cameroon, a glaring example as of the 2018 example, where we had people calling people the Tontinale, Sardinale, this and that and that and that. Politics have been marred with hatred, and many are asking the question, how did we get here? That instead of democracy to be a blessing for our nation, democracy has further divided the nation. Many questions, several questions being asked, and very little answers being provided. At the level of the economy, many are also asking the question, more than 60 years after most nations in Africa regained their independence, how come our economy is still very creeping and crawling? In fact, the high cost of living is all-time high in Africa, especially when you look at CEMAC sub-region, where the high cost of living is another cause for discussion. And so, with abundant natural resources, with a God-given potential entrusted in the minds of people across Africa and CEMAC and Cameroon in particular, how come for more than 60 years our youths are unable to have jobs and employment? Most of our youth are practicing what is described in economy as disguised unemployment, where someone is employed lower than the standard in which a person ought to occupy. That is where many settle for disguised unemployment. And so therefore, on House of Commons, today's edition, we're asking the question, what, when, and how should we do to resolve Cameroon's problems? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis. Hello and thanks for joining us. If you are just watching us, you are watching House of Commons, and we await most of our guests who are here to make their way into the studio. We apologize for the late start due to some issues as far as the program is concerned. We are actually giving invite to some persons who promised to come, and we are still waiting for them. But however, it will not be fair for us to keep you guys waiting. Here in the studio, one of our guests is already here. He is someone who is very objective and belongs to Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement, CPDM. He is Mr. Kimbang Vitalis. Mr. Kimbang, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Tah Mai Javis. Happy Sunday to all the televiewers who are watching us out there. It's my pleasure to be here again after some time to discuss the thing that will better move this country ahead. Thank you very much.
We also await the arrival of Professor Nsah, who is an economist and so an agronomist, rather someone who understands some basic as far as economics is concerned, and also he has supervised a lot of PhD students within the level of state universities. So we await the arrival of Professor Nsah, and at the same time Nick Anu, who has just signaled that he is unable to make it. We want to say congratulations to you, Nick, for the fact that your wife actually gave birth to a bouncing baby boy without any complications. So we want to wish you a very, very big congratulations. And all those of you watching us, you will have the opportunity today to participate on the program, either by calling us on the numbers that you will see on your screen. You can call us to let us know your thoughts about the topic of today. Today's topic, we are looking at fixing Cameroon's problems. Why do we have these problems, and how can we resolve these problems? What can be done to fix the problems? Some of the problems being faced in Cameroon. One, which is the major, the Anglophone crisis. Two, high cost of living among many people within major cities and some villages. Three, the youth problems in which many youths are unable to have jobs that can actually have salaries which will take them home. Also, we have hate politics. We have educational issues where our educational institutions are training graduates with whom we are not giving the opportunities for them. And so the question is it time to restructure our educational system? Another issue, infrastructural problem, which we face in Cameroon. These and many more are some of the problems that we shall be looking at, in which you also have the opportunity to let us know how some of these problems can be resolved. Mr. Kimbang, let us have your take on these issues. Cameroon, more than 50 years, we regain independence. We still have issues that we ought not to have.
It is very, very unfortunate that more than 50 years after our independence, most African countries still have many problems which are not peculiar to those in Europe. It is no doubt the type of education that the white man introduced to Africa, I'm sure, is one of the major factors that has brought us to where we are today. Because everything that has to do with development and the rest of the things starts from education. And if you look at the type of education that the white man gave to us, it was an education that was meant not to reason, but to cram things and recite them. That is why in most cases we have subjects in school that virtually will not help you after you graduate. You bear with me that of recent, some of these curriculum have been revised, because when you have things like, I remember going to school, you have to cram things like who discovered Cameroon, who discovered River Mongo, all those type of things. And unfortunately, I mean, our new generation that are coming up today, because a child asks a question that who discovered River Wuri? They said somebody discovered River Wuri, and the child asks a question. Does that mean that the Douala people who were fishing in that river before the white man came
did not know there was a river there?
Yes. Or those who were in Cameroon never knew that was a mountain, or those who were in Mongo Park never knew that. So all those things, thank God that the new generation, we are trying to see, the teachers are trying to, people who are building up the curriculum are trying to see how they can build up a system that when you graduate, you will be self-employed. Because when you look at what is happening in Cameroon today, everything is building around education. And it's so unfortunate that we have a system where something like religious studies, which should be the base of our morals in society, we look at it to be a very minimal subject. I'm even surprised that when you see most of the jobs that are advertised, they will say advanced level excluding religion. I think that with the moral decadence that we have in our society today, the religions will have been one of the most important subjects. Because when you look at what is happening today, like this issue of embezzlement that is dealing with Africa, it's because people don't have conscience. If we can imprison our children's bad mentality with religion, they will grow up and know that to steal is bad. But there is this mentality where people think that you cannot make it by merit in Cameroon or in Africa in general, that you can only make it if you know someone who knows someone.
And that knows someone.
That knows someone. And that is a very, very bad mentality. Then when you come to politics, you discover that the type of politics that is practiced in most African countries, maybe look at Cameroon in particular, it's like we have some type of tribal politics where I will only support somebody that comes from my area. Or when you look at major parties, you say, okay, for example, you say SDF, you look at the headquarters, the stronghold of SDF, they will say it's in the northwest. You come to NMC, the stronghold of NMC, you say it is in Bafoussam and the rest. So you see that politics has been segmented in such a way that people don't
hate.
Yes, people don't vote somebody because of competence, but they vote somebody because I want to vote my brother.
Our village man.
Yes, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them because we look at what is happening. Most of our leaders who are there, they don't give jobs to people by merit. And so somebody think that if I'm able to push my own brother or my own sister to be there, maybe through him, I'm going to get my own part of the national cake. So it has made people to think that I can only vote for my brother or from somebody who comes from my region. That is not the type of politics that can bring development. Then when you look at other factors like economic growth, you see that the type of tax system that we practice in Cameroon is one of the things that is really killing this country. Because before you see the type of taxes that is levied on some businesses, and when you look at those businesses, you see that some people even pay taxes on business that you don't even, we look at the capital, you don't even see the capital of that business. Somebody who is selling tomatoes, and who maybe he has barely borrowed maybe 20,000 francs from somewhere to start. Then when people from taxation comes to give him taxes, sometimes I look at it, I just say, but when you tax this person, how do you expect the person to survive? And somebody who carries a bunch of plantains from the market, by the time he reaches, with all the sufferings, by the time he reaches the market, they say he should pay ticket. And these are the people that are feeding the people who are in the cities. And I think that these people should be given opportunities to come to the town and sell. And with the bad roads that they face and all the other things, when they come to town and they see that they have to pay taxes, I think government should look at all these things and see how they can correct them. I was listening to one governor in Nigeria, and
Ben Ayadi,
very good,
of Cross River State.
Cross River State. And I listened to him, I was like, why can we not have this type of people in all of Africa? Because the way he said it, it was as if he's somebody from a different planet. And I think that when we say elected officials should be people that should be able to represent us truly and tell our problems to, or be able to go fight and bring back what we need. Because when you look at what is practiced in Cameroon, for example, somebody will come that he's an elected official of a particular town. As soon as you people elect him, it's as if the gap between the person and you is just a whole ocean. The person does not recognize you again. So I think that if we have politicians or people that have conscience, that can go to the parliament or be mayors and they are able to fight for their people, I think that we'll have a better Cameroon. But we have people that are selfish. I think that we will not be Cameroon. Look, my problem in this country that I don't have a problem with President Paul Biya. My problem is with the selfish politicians. Because when you look at a country like Cameroon, we have a population of let's say 30 million, and you have 385 parties. And let me tell you that those type of political parties, you just see that it's not that they want to fight for the good of the population. It is because they want to fight for the individual well-being. Because I don't see how, if free and fair elections are conducted in this country, these 385 parties, how they are going to beat President Paul Biya.
Okay.
It's going to be very impossible.
Okay, I'll just do a bit of follow-up. If you are watching us, feel free to participate in the program by also, you can call us today to also give us your take on how you think we can fix Cameroon's problem. You can also leave us a message on WhatsApp or on normal regular message. We will also be there to read some of your messages. You made mention of the fact, the educational system.
Yes.
Let us look at the educational system in Cameroon. Let's start from the basic education, the basic level. We were not there, or someone, maybe me, but you, maybe you were there at the level of when Aijo was president. The kind of education which was practiced then, even in our days, at the level of primary school, handwork were made and not paid. Domestic science was actually being carried out, which was captioned a self-reliance program, as the same way China is doing, where they are bringing the self-reliance program. But if you look at now, most of those things have been scraped off. Manual labor itself now is more of punishment, and people are not also being given that ability. Come to the level of the secondary education. Let us also look at the curriculum being given to the students and say if these students can actually practice after leaving advanced level. In these days, someone will just need to leave standard 6 and is recruited and perform very well and effectively. But when you look at these days, universities in itself, proliferation of universities, several universities talking about how they are entrepreneurial, how they are professional. You see professional, this professional. Then I ask you the question, Mr. Kimba. You are a pedagogue. When you look at the education system with the series of things I've listed, and tell me in all certainty if Cameroon's problem at the level of education can easily be resolved.
Sincerely, it would take some decades for the problems of Cameroon to be resolved. Although they are trying to see how they can correct the curriculum. If you look at when I was still in primary school, there was a period when we used to have a manual labor, where we would go to the school farm and do farming and other things. But now, we have pampered our children so much so that if you ask a child to do manual labor, it's as if you are punishing that child. I quite remember when I was still in primary school in the village, when they say we are presenting our handwork the next day, you come to the village, everybody has gone to the bush to see how you can produce something, and yes, tangible. I quite remember I used to produce a chair, and sometimes they will gather the chairs and they will give me marks and they will sell the chairs. But today is quite a different scenario, because is when you hear a child say, Daddy, they have said that we should bring handwork 200 francs or 500 francs for handwork. And I look at the thing and it is very, very funny. And when you look at this issue of primary school, I bet you have had experiences where some parents come to teachers in primary school and bribe so that their children can pass. When you give this type of mentality to a child, how do you expect that child to be hardworking? And more to that, you see teachers in primary level too. The fact that they are not well paid is a very, very serious problem, because some of these teachers, they are bound to favor students, some particular peoples, and maybe give them marks just to impress the parent, marks that they don't deserve. And when you now come to secondary education, we have very beautiful secondary schools, technical secondary school with flyers all over saying that these are things that we can do. But if you go to their lab, you don't see anything. You don't see anything there. So they just come there and you go there and money is paid, and at the end, no practical is done, and a child comes up, have a degree in this, or have a advanced level in so and so field, whereas the applicability in the field is not there. And when you go to universities too, it is the same thing. You cannot move 300, 400 meters without seeing higher institute of university of this. Higher
The worst is Buea.
Yes.
When you get to Buea from Mai 17.
Yes.
To checkpoint.
And even is even surprised that some universities are even operating just in somebody's palo. And how do you expect, when you say Institute of Technology and this, and you are operating in an environment where we don't see anything technical being there's something in terms of technology being done there, and people graduate from those universities, how do you expect them to perform? So sometimes when you see graduate from these our universities, you see that truly they are lacking, because even teachers that have been taken to train them, they are also local teachers that maybe
Mr. Kimbang,
they went to the same system.
Let me do a
yes.
follow-up. How do you explain first the issue that someone is teaching economy, has been teaching it for quite a long time, but is poor?
That is it. It's not like I was reading something when somebody said that his uncle has written a book on how to be rich, and he's looking for money to bring the book. So you see that it's just a matter of we just do the theoretical part and the practical is not there. And sometimes you see somebody say, I have a degree in this, I have a master's degree in this, but when it comes to the practice, I was saying the other day that if it's that as to send my child to school to go and do motor mechanics, the child should just leave class 7 and go and do it, because I discovered that when you look at most of the strong mechanics in town, they are those who are illiterate. They don't even know anything.
Who don't know how to read.
They don't even know how to read and write.
But they understand it.
But they understand the vehicle, and they can work vehicles that even those who have PhDs in motor mechanics cannot do it. So you see that it is a very, very funny scenario. So I think that our educational system need to really go a lot of changes before we can then one day boast that we have students who have graduated who can do the work. Because when you look at all these people, when a job comes up, they call foreigners to come and do it. It is because they too, they don't have the confidence. The other day I was traveling with one girl from Douala to Bamenda, and the girl was telling me that she has a master's, that they were doing recruitment in the University of Bamenda, but that they recruited those who came with degrees from our side.
Foreign degrees.
Yes, foreign degrees, and they did not recruit those who had the very degrees in the University of Bamenda. I was asking myself, that means that those who train those people to have those degrees, they know that those people don't deserve to have those degrees. Because I cannot train somebody and then I go and pick somebody that I don't know who has trained the person to come and work with me. Okay. I'm sure the first person that should have been taken should have been those who were training, who got this thing from Bamenda, not those who came from abroad.
Let me take on some messages and then we will come back to you. You can call us on the numbers on your screen and let us know your own take on how we can resolve some of these problems that we are facing within our nation. This one says, good morning over there and happy Sunday. This is Sivian. Sorry if I don't pronounce the name correctly. This is Sivian from Sam Pete. More grace to you guys. I'm really learning a lot from the program. This other one right says, happy Sunday. Thanks for bringing up these issues. We have several problems in Cameroon. You just highlighted the Anglophone problem. Can you imagine that for over 7 years, we have professors in University of Buea who are teaching conflict resolutions. We have professors in different universities across Cameroon who are teaching conflict resolution. But these same professors are unable to teach the government how to resolve the Anglophone problem. Boy, problem day.
It's really problem day because you cannot be teaching conflict resolution on how to resolve conflict in other countries, and your own country is on fire, and you cannot teach the government how to resolve that.
Yeah, but how do you understand this?
How do you not expect the student you are teaching to trust what you are teaching them? Because normally you should first, they say charity begins at home. You should all begin from your house before you go outside. So it's a very, very funny scenario.
Well, let me take on this other one. Right, this is happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I like the program and the topic for today. My own contribution is that if we must fix Cameroon's problem. Let us begin with the level of the education. Our educational system needs a complete overhaul. In fact, Mr. Javis, as articulated in your editorial, how is it that we train engineers, yet when it comes to the construction of our roads, we go and look for foreigners to come and do them? And this has kept me asking the question, is it that those of our engineers who are trained in Cameroon only know the structures on paper and book, but cannot practicalize it? Or is it that they are afraid to give them the job, thinking that when they become rich, they will be uncontrollable and the elite will not have their place in villages? There are two ways to look at this issue. But to me, I think that we must first start with the educational system. To do that, we must start by asking honest questions. How best have our educational system trained us in terms of meeting up with the day-to-day expectation? Begin with, let us sack the ministers of education.
It's not a matter of sacking the Minister of Education. It's a matter of trying to see how we can better up the curriculum. And you know, there's a lot of corruption as far as education is concerned. And to work it out is one of the problems. At times, people just look at the problem from the top, but whereas those who are really destroying the whole thing are those from the bottom. Because when you look at our educational system, I've just cited an example here where a parent will come to give bribe in primary school so that the child can succeed, and during graduation they should call the child so that the child can receive prizes. That is corruption at the level of the base. But those who are at the top, they might not know that that's what is being practiced there, because most of these practices are done in private schools, which we think that we trust them. So I think that the problem is not like sacking the Minister of Education, but really working with our consciences.
Now, how do we now also resolve? Okay, how do we have a list of particular issues as far as the educational system is concerned? Because you began by stating the fact that if you look at some of the things in which we are teaching our kids, that the educational system that was designed for us was not designed to meet up with technology. You articulated the fact that the discovery of River Niger was done by Mungu Park. But the question that many are asking is that, were there not people around River Niger who knew that there was a river there? You also talked about the issue of Wuri. And let's also look at the name Cameroon was given. Right? Yes. They said Rio de Cameroon, the river of Prawns. I don't know how the Mount Cameroon was also named. Is it that people in this area were not there? Now, how do we fix now all this?
If you look at the new curriculum that is being introduced in primary schools, there have been a lot of innovations in it. Now, what we call technology has been introduced right from primary one, and other subjects like agriculture and the rest, they are too being introduced in our schools.
Let me take on this call. Hello? Yes, sir. Happy Sunday. Who are you and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Chief Ndape.
Yes, Your Majesty.
From Bangam, Kupe, Maninguba.
Yes, Your Majesty. Right on.
Yes, Mr. Javis, it's a story when you want to talk it, you speak in your lungs and there will be no end. In fact, as the invited guest started saying about education, that is the start of everything in our country.
Yes, sir.
For instance, like those persons we vote them into power, like our representatives in the name of parliamentarian or whatnot.
Yes, Your Majesty.
If you see them within their constituency that voted them, know that elections are nearby or by the corner. Like yesterday, Minister Elon Paul was here, and in fact, in Bangan, people were just anxious to go and eat bread, one sardine, a bottle of beer, and they were fighting. I passed by, I stood, and was seeing what was happening. A gentleman was begging to enter the first. Meanwhile, the army was there as the Berlin Wall with guns. Fortunately for this gentleman, there was a person inside the gate who knew him, and he signaled the army, so the door was open for him to enter heaven, because there you have food, you have everything. He was a gentleman but the stomach was hungry and poverty within its reach. So, the way forward is that let us register massively and take a decision. Because all what we are saying every day is that we are honest and that everything in Cameroon is well. Meanwhile, those are grassroots, like I who is in Bangladesh, we are not well. But those we voted in who are now permanently in Yaoundé, they speak the lies to authorities that everything is fine. For instance, look at the road of Pumba, Kondo Titi, or Mondemba. They went and filmed a different road and showed to people that, because I saw it on the screen, that Kondo Titi road is passable. What I'm saying is that if I were the Prime Minister, because that is his place of origin, I will resign. Because I don't see any need being there. He has no voice over the Minister of Public Works. He's just staying there as the head of all ministers, but has less power. So what they are trying to do is assimilation of Anglophones. They want us to know French, those who have been displaced from Southwest to Douala to Yaoundé, from Bamenda, and in any other spoken Francophone region, for us to be conversant to French language. That's an indirect way of assimilation.
Okay.
Secondly,
yes, sir.
Anglophone Palaba will not come to an end because people have a lot of gains inside. Thank you, Mr. Javis.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good day.
Okay, sir. Okay, Your Majesty. Mr. Kimbang, you wanted to react?
Yes, the problem is not like register massively and vote. The problem is, who are we going to vote if we register massively? Because when you look at the 385 political parties, nobody is willing to agree with another person. So if we vote, we register massively, are we going to share our one person is going to share the vote to 385 parties or what? Then, notwithstanding what he was saying, the other day I was talking about elected officials, and I always refer to my constituency. Yes, because
that of Honorable Edgard.
Yes.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, I always refer to my constituency, because if you go to my constituency, you will discover that we voted those who can deliver, and we, the people of Cambe Central and Dongamantum, we are really enjoying it, because we cannot say that President Paul Biya should be in every places at any time. If you are during election, people should be able to vote with their conscience, vote somebody that can go to parliament, or somebody that can be a mayor and do something. So if we just register massively and we don't know who we are going to vote, the massive registration is going to help us. It's not going to help us. If you go outside there and ask people, if we are conducting presidential elections today, who are you going to vote? Many people don't even know who they will vote. They don't even know who they will vote. Whereas by now, Cameroonians, if they are willing or that they want to unseat President Paul Biya, there will be some people at the forefront that people are looking up to them, that these are the messiahs that are going to remove Cameroon from the pit. But so far, there is no one political party that can say that this is the person that the population is looking up to. And to be very sincere, if free and fair elections are conducted in this country, President Paul Biya will win 100%. Because the people are confused. Those who call themselves opposition leaders, they are so selfish, they are so self-centered, they are so unwilling to come together to form a common front, and by so doing, the population, they have no way to go. They are just confused.
This one says fixing Cameroon. Fixing Cameroon is a matter of fiction than reality. We all wish for change, but no one is willing to start the change. For change to begin, the ministers should resign. Take the case of the accident that took away the life of ex-Cameroon player Landry Nguemu. The Minister of Transport withdraw the driver's license of the truck that hit his car. Why not seek the root cause of the accident, which is the bad route? Look at the road network we have in Cameroon. We have footpath. And the Minister of Public Works. Thank you very much. Hello? Bonjour. Ça va, et toi, oui?
J'ai dit comment vous allez prendre le travail?
This one says the Minister of Transport and the Public Works. In fact, all the ministers should resign, starting from the head of state. This is coming from Kabila Omega in Yaoundé. Allô, bonjour.
Oui, José, vous parlez le français un peu, non? Moi, je suis un francophone.
Oui, donnez ta part de contribution.
Ok, mon condition quand même, comme nous les jeunes Camerounais, on n'a pas le travail. On a fréquenté sans travail, c'est que ça ne marche pas.
Comment on peut résoudre ce problème d'emploi? Comment on peut résoudre, comme en tant qu'un Camerounais, comment on peut résoudre ce problème-là?
Bon, moi-même, je ne sais pas. Parce que nous, les jeunes de Camerounais, on fréquente jusqu'à aller au lycée, on finit le lycée, jusqu'à avoir le bac, le BPC, le doctorat, tout, sans travail. Et nous, on ne comprend pas, ça marche comment? On fait l'armée, on est rédigé, dès qu'on est arrivé, on nous dit que le nom n'est pas sorti.
Ok, merci.
Donc, comment ce qui passe dans le Cameroun, nous, on ne comprend pas.
Merci pour ta contribution. Et c'est pour cela que les gens disent que c'est mieux d'enregistrer pour les élections de 2025 massivement.
Oui.
Et vous allez voter qui?
Nous, seulement que nous, ce qu'on veut dans le Cameroun ici, il faut seulement on nous donne à jeunes Camerounais le travail.
Ok.
Si les jeunes ont le travail, le pays va développer.
Ok, merci beaucoup, Nagode.
Yawa.
You are. Thank you very much. And he was also talking about the huge problem of unemployment.
That is one of the major problems that we have in this country. Because if you go out there, it's because most of the youth are very frustrated. Like what the Royal Majesty was saying. This is, when you are hungry and you are frustrated, you do things that it's not your conscience that is guiding you. It is your stomach that is guiding you.
Hello? 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 Yeah, sorry.
Once the stomach is empty, the conscience, your brain does not work well. And that's why when you see, like My Majesty was saying that one politician came to Mbangem the other day and people were fighting. The man is not fighting because he's no more reasoning. He is poor, he's frustrated, and he's just looking for any way to survive.
And he said, where is that seeing politicians coming around other elections?
No, yes.
Hello? Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful program.
Yes, sir. Right on with your contribution.
Okay, this is my contribution. I want to find out. We are talking so much about. This is Luma Vincent from Kutaba.
Yes, right on. You shift a bit from your TV.
Okay, I'm out of the house completely.
Yes. Yeah, we are getting you now.
Yes, this is my problem. We talk about okay, is it okay?
It's okay. Talk. You have a delay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying that we are talking so much about the education system in Cameroon and companies in Cameroon, establishment in Cameroon that they don't employ Cameroonians. This is my question. I want to find out the embezzlement has caused schools are operated. Monies are sent to buy equipment for the schools. The equipment are not bought, and we are more. Cameroonians are more interested in theory than practical. How do we expect our graduates to be recruited when they only know of the theoretical part and the practical part they don't know? I can imagine, remember, these workers was passing by a school and the teacher was teaching the metric system, measurement. And the teacher explained so well to the children But when the children asked, show us a measurement, which is 1 meter, he was unable until this guy was selling loin. Had to come around with a tape and say, a meter is from here to here. So
the guy who is not teaching. The guy who is not teaching.
Yes. So most of our problem in our country is, I cannot recruit a technician and engineer in Cameroon, which he knows only the theoretical part and the practical part is not there. So that's where our educational system is really failing. I remember our first speaker who talked about handwork. We collect with money, not even the handwork itself. I don't know why a check can produce 1,000 francs or 100 francs coin. That when it comes, it is accepted. So I don't know. And the next thing is all the talking we're only throwing water on the desk back because the government gets is no
so
tangible.
How do we fix these
met.
problems? My question now: how do we fix them?
Yes, how do we fix them? How do we fix them? We involve those schools and the government to send the material, technical materials that will be used in those various schools to teach the children the practical part of it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Some of the blames goes, when we talk about this issue of school like this, some of the blame goes to the parents. Because...
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. She baby from your TV set. She baby from your TV set. Who you right on?
Hello?
Yes, right on with your contribution. Please, before when you call us, shift away from your TV set and expect a bit of delay because you are using direct call. So you don't need to listen again from the TV before you react, such that you actually get to give out your take. You were saying that some of the blame goes to the parents.
Yes, because when a child comes to school, when a child comes to the house and say they have asked us to bring money as handwork to school, if you want to react as a parent with a conscience and to ask the school that, how are you asking my child to bring money as a handwork to school? Other parents will say, no, c'est comme ça qu'on fait. Si on dit qu'on donne l'argent, on donne seulement, on ne discute pas. And all these type of things are things that, because we must start to effect change from our own level. Effect change from our own level. When the parents say, bring money as handwork, the parent will just accept and we give the money.
So that's how it's done.
Yes, that is how it's being done. We should
at least, sir.
You don't expect President Pobia to come from Yaoundé and say, okay, no, they should not give money as handwork. You, as a parent, people can have during a PTA meeting, you say that no, handwork should be handwork, not money.
Okay.
And some of the parents, they are pampered their children, as I was saying, someone said that, even say that the child should even just take a needle and do some needlework.
He's seen as punishment.
He's seen as punishment. So this problem cannot just be put on the head of the government.
Hello? Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, I give you in the studio.
Thank you very much, sir. Right on. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Jude and I'm calling from Boya.
Yes, sir. Right on, sir.
Okay, I was just trying to participate on the aspects of this 2025 election.
Yes, sir.
Because I've been advising, me, I'm a taxi driver, I've been advising some of my colleagues to register.
Yes, sir.
They don't even accept to register. They are saying that we will register, but who are we going to vote for?
Very good.
Who are we going to? Because they are not seeing any reliable politician that is standing that, okay, to talk to my people, at least to convince us as the youth to understand that is where we are heading to. Because we are confused.
That's true.
Me, myself, I've already registered, but I don't know who will I vote for. We are just waiting to see. At the last days, maybe the Lord will send someone away.
Yeah, but they should register, because if they don't register, what if the person comes when they have closed the electoral list? What if your choice of candidate comes?
I'm trying to sensitize them that they should.
Is a person going to come from heaven?
In the hands before not knowing what to do.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope Boya is fine.
Thank you.
Let me take on some few calls. Those of you calling us, thank you very much. This one says, we've just also received a breaking news that a road accident had occurred in Limbe. 5 people have died so far this morning in Limbe. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Chipondo calling from Bamenda.
Yes, Your Majesty, right on.
Yes, sir. I want to appeal that when you invite people in your platform, they should come to appeal to Cameroonians to do the right thing. Cameroonians have voter apathy, that is understood. But the first thing they have to do is that let them register. When it will be time for voting, they will decide. Somebody should not take the delight to tell people that you don't know who to vote. We are going to invite the foreigner to come and be voting in Cameroon. There are Cameroonians who will emerge when the time comes if people have voted or have registered. So Cameroonians should register and wait for the angel to come and then they will select. Thank you.
Yes, Your Majesty. Thank you very much.
He misunderstood me what I said. I said that my problem with this Cameroon is not President Paul Biya, but the selfish nature of these political parties, because none of them, yes, they should form a coalition and let the population see that they are willing to rescue them. Okay. Because when you have a country where there are 385 political parties and nobody seems to agree with another person, how do you expect to win somebody that has been there for many years? It is impossible.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling us from and your name?
I'm calling from Tah Mai. My name is Nsah.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Okay.
Hey. Man is listening
Hello?
to TV before talking.
Yes, there's a delay at that TV. Right on. I'm getting you. There will be a bit of delay because you're using direct calls.
From TV.
What I want to say is that we should not discourage Cameroonians from registering. Okay, I'll call after. Please. I'll call after.
No. Truly, Cameroonians should register massively register. Maybe, as you have said, a Nsah will come, but we should appeal to those who have political parties that they should come together and see how they can form a coalition.
PAP is of the opinion that they are willing to do a coalition if the president will be an Anglophone candidate.
That's already a precondition that some of the Francophone parties will not maybe accept. So that is already a problem.
Okay.
So we are not saying that people should not register, but people should massively register. Okay. Let's see, maybe at the end, 2025, a Nsah will come up.
We're having problems here. Hello? Hello? Hello, sir? Please, when you call us, just be a bit patient because sometime we will move to the next part of the program and we may have a bit of break to receive calls. So when you call us, be brief and let us know where you're... Good afternoon, sir. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Mr. Austin Fale. I'm calling from Chiku.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my problem is that you people all come sit on the platform, then you call for massive registration. I want us to know, who are we going to vote for? That's the question. If you go, you are a popular man, journalist named Mr. Tah Mai Javis. If you go on the street and interview the citizens of Cameroon, you will know that each and everyone, even especially Anglophone, they will say to you that they don't have somebody who can defend the people like Joseph Weber, who stood in the National Assembly and say what he could say. Please, Cameroonians, people are fooling people. We don't know who. When you see people don't have interest to register, it's because we don't have somebody like Weber who can stood in the parliament and say something better. If you don't know, people now, okay, the citizens of Cameroon have pushed them to war, and they are now understanding this political issue and all these things. So we don't have a permanent person. We don't have a good politician to stand with the government. And you know that in the National Assembly, that's where they form the laws of the country. And nobody is there who can talk like Weber. Even in the name of what, nobody is there. So people are just discouraged. If Weber come back to this country and stand, only him, people will vote for him. If you don't know, go along the road. Then you ask the people testify to you. We are now educated, especially Anglophone. We know somebody who can stand for the people.
Okay.
Yes, we know somebody who can stand for the people. We
Thank
don't
you,
just
sir.
go with all these mushroom parties like that, creating ever when you cannot stand any player and
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon and happy Sunday.
Afternoon, sir. Happy Sunday to all of you there in the studio.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is that we should not distract Cameroonians from register for the election. We know the difference from Madu Ahijo and President Biya because President Biya is there now. We only have to know the difference from President Biya to another president when the other president will come up. We should not distract. Maybe we don't know the person that will come up, but the breaking of the election, we may know somebody who will come and save us from the. This is another policy of making Cameroonians to confuse, so that they should not go and register by saying that who are we going to vote. We should stop saying that because this is we live in Cameroon, we know what is going on. We should not distract people from that way. We should only encourage Cameroonians to vote if we love this nation. Okay. We can only make the difference when you know the other person that is on power. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir. The question as to who are we going to vote for, many are saying that we should not ask those questions. Rather, we should. This one says, good afternoon, House of Commons. I am Dennis Socrates from Boya. We all have problems in Cameroon due to bad governance, the issue of bad roads, unemployment. Opposition political parties have also failed us. More youth should involve in politics. This is coming from Socrates in Boya. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Where are you calling us from?
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Yaoundé Central.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my one point is this. The point is this. If you look at the Cameroon government, all of them, those who are heading our country, they are all old. Starting from the president of the Senate, right up to the parliamentarian, all of them. I don't know what they are doing now. Even all those who, the head of government, ministers, everybody, they are now fighting for their own point of view. They are fighting for their pockets, and all their family, they are all stand.
So how do we fix these problems now?
The point is that let everybody go and register everybody, and then you choose your own president and vote. Not only voting, because CPDM is very good in corrupting, stealing votes. So let's go to the polls, vote, and stand there and count and open our eyes right up to Elecam, where those results will be placed there. We should count them and check from there to where they are going to read the results. Even the president who is reading the results, we are also going to put a stick behind him, because that's where the trick comes out, so that we should have a new, fresh memory president to take care of the country. That is the only thing I can say to change the president, change the system of government, because all of them, they have failed us. They have all failed us. I'm calling from Yaoundé. I'm Ngwa Abenego.
Thank you, Mr. Ngwa. Thank you very much. The next 5 minutes, we will pause call so that I move to the next question, which I intend to ask Mr. Kimbang, that is a level of infrastructures. Let me take on some of the WhatsApp messages. How on earth will the discipline master be the most undisciplined and corrupt people? Talking about our police officers. Javis from Bengui. Thank you very much, Javis from Bengui. This one right, it says, Cameroon, like many countries in the world, faces variety of challenges. Here are some of the most interesting issues and potential way forward. Major challenges: political instability. Cameroon has experienced political tension and violence, particularly in the Anglophone regions, leading to humanitarian concerns and economic disruption. Economic inequality. Significant portion of the population lives in poverty, while wealth is concentrated in the hands of the small elite. This leads to social unrest and limits economic development. Corruption. Corruption is a significant problem, hindering good governance, undermining the rule of law, and diverting resources from critical public services. Infrastructural deficiency, limited access to quality health care, education, and transportation infrastructures hampers economic growth and hinders social development. Youth unemployment. High rate of youth challenges as young people struggle to find opportunities and contribute to society. Potential way forward. Political reforms. Promoting dialogue, reconciliation, and inclusive governance to address underlying grievances and build a more peaceful, stable society. This includes ensuring the representation of diverse communities and respecting fundamental human rights. Economic diversification, moving away from a reliance on oil and other natural resources to create a more robust resource resilient economy. This will involve investing in agriculture, tourism, technology, and manufacturing. Fighting corruption, implementing strong anti-corruption measures, promoting transparency and accountability in government, and strengthening the rule of law, investing in infrastructure, prioritize investment in education, healthcare, roads, energy, and other critical infrastructures to improve access to essential services and to drive the economic growth. Empowering youth, creating opportunities for education, employment, and entrepreneurship to address youth unemployment and harness the potential of the next generation. The path forward for Cameroon required a holistic approach that addresses the root causes of the challenges, leverages the country's strength and resources. With a focus on good governance, economic diversification, social development, and regional cooperation, Cameroon has a potential to create a brighter future to its citizens. The big question now is, who will take the lead to fix these things? There is a wind of change blowing from the east part of Africa. I believe if nothing is done regarding these problems, Cameroon will not be left out. This is coming from Jodone Babang from Bamenda. Lengthy message there. This it says question to ponder on. Where is the progressive wing of CPDM that some of the politicians with the idea on other I'll be coming back to that. Let me take on this call before getting to Mr. Kimba. Maybe there are questions on where is the progressive wing. We'll have to ask Dr. Ngwanyam, because it's Dr. Ngwanyam. This one, and he went further in saying that most of our mayors this way are ambassadors simply because the party compensation, because of party compensation. These two terms, party discipline and party compensation, is what is killing the ideology of the progressive CPDM. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling us from? What is your name?
Okay, Mr. Javis, good afternoon. I'm calling all the way from Mass in Binja.
Yes, sir. We just learned that there's an accident in Limbe this morning.
Yes. So, what I can contribute is that, you see, all our Nigerians, they are fighting for their own self. They don't care about the population, they don't care about whosoever. Whosoever going to the parliament is for his own self. Nobody has time to defend the people. So that is why the election for now is difficult for people to actually know who is to be a leader and who they should vote. But at the moment of at the actual time, when you have a person that defends people, that stands in front to fight for people, you fight for him. But they are fighting for their own personal self. So that's why a lot of things are happening which people are actually getting it difficult. So we don't know who is the leader.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. This message it says, good afternoon. What we need in Cameroon is an independent electoral commission. All other problems will be fixed. I am B. Samuel from Boya. This one says my advice to everybody. Dear Mr. Tah, I am surprised your guest says he has a problem with education system, but says he has no problem with President Paul Biya, who has been the manager of the system for 40 years. He is not honest. And my advice, that's Jacob from Bamenda, he says, my advice to everybody who does not know who to vote for should only vote for change, irrespective of who is there. This other one, right? He says, Tim says Cameroon can only become when nature takes its course on the leadership. That's Tim. This one says, greetings to everyone talking about the upcoming election 2025. My question is this: why should people register massively? We all already know who the winner is, so there is no need for registration. I beg to differ with you on that. This one says, greetings to you in the studio. It is the duty of each Cameroonian to participate in electoral activity, but the question here is, Will it be fair this time around? The problem in Cameroon linked to its diversity, greed, selfishness, marginalization. Deal with all this and you won't an Anglophone crisis to begin with. So there is a break. Now, let me address some concerns before coming back to you, Mr. Kimbang. A lot of people are asking and saying that, talking about the fairness of this election. But let me make it clear. Senegal had a change of president. Senegal's system is not different from Cameroon. Nowhere in the world are members of the election commission not appointed or nominated by the sitting head of state. Nowhere in the world. No country has members of the election committee that comes from space. The only thing that Senegal used in defeating the ruling government was because they had massive registration. And because they saw the mass, the interest that the people had, there was no way that they could go against the people's will. But when we look at the voter apathy, with just 3 million that went for the 2018 presidential election, and you do your mathematics, you'll be shocked that 2018 election may have had some few issues, but credibility-wise, the party that won. Because if elections are called today, with this system of divide and the system of political oppositions we have, believe me or not, if they are fair, you already know the answer. So the only way is massive registration. Mr. Kimbang, how can we be talking now at the level of infrastructures? Let us look at our infrastructures. Our roads are deplorable. Our healthcare system in hospitals are dilapidated, and most infrastructures are not there. Instead, we have beautiful toll gates in roads that are not there. How do we explain and reconcile this, that we construct beautiful toll gates but we don't have the routes?
Sincerely, it bothers me too when I was going to Yaoundé the other day and to Boya and to Bafoussam. I saw these beautiful toll gates, and worst of it is the route from Nsah to Mbanga. I was asking myself, and I look and I have the price tag for all the vehicles that have to pass through that toll gate. When I look at it, I was asking myself, where is the route that we have so much out that these toll gates have been put so that we can pay this type of money? Sincerely, I'm a member of the CPDM, but I cannot say that I should glorify it, that it is something good. It is a shame. And what I've always clamored for is that we shouldn't just look at the head of state. We should look at those who we elect. How do they do their work?
How do they govern?
How do they govern? I've always given an example of I thought about Kambe here. In Kambe, we elected a Mayor Nsah Shameful, that has transformed our old Kambe town into a modern city, and he has linked most of the villages in Kambe, around Kambe, with roads. Schools are constructed, and you see beautiful structures coming up in Kambe. And we also are one of the best parliamentary and honorable town from Ngala, Edgard, that have been doing a very, very wonderful job. So we should, during election, select those who can go to Yaoundé and bring something. We should not select those who are so selfish, because most of our problem at the level of the divisions and the level of the regions is not with President Paul Biya. It will be people whom we have elected to represent us. Because if these people go to the parliament and they have the interests of their people at heart, we will not blame President Paul Biya. They will do the job and we will love it. They will transform our towns, they will bring development, they will bring infrastructures, and we will all appreciate. But when we have selfish elected officials who go to the parliament and who are mayors who only think about themselves, at the end of it all, the blames goes to President Paul Biya, whereas we are the ones to be blamed because we at our own level did not choose the right person, either because we took bribe from these people or we voted them because of maybe relationships. I think that if we honestly select our representative voters and vote our representative and vote them, those who we know, because in our society, we all know, in our societies, we all know those who can work and those who cannot work. But unfortunately, most at times in most of our society, those who can or who have the interest of the people at heart, they don't have money to bribe. And you see that the youths, they always go for somebody who will come and flash the money and give them drinks. And at the end, these are the people that the people will vote for them. And they end up suffering for 7 years and blaming President Paul Biya. This issue of running after, because like Your Majesty called and was saying that a parliamentary, a government official came to Mbangem and the youths were all running to go and identify with him. We have people in Mbangem that are resident in Mbangem, that the Mbangem people, they know that if this person goes to parliament or this person becomes a mayor, he can work for the interest of the Mbangem people. But since the person does not have the financial means to bribe them, they also always go to somebody that has money. And that person, since he uses his money to buy our consciences, when he's elected, he can do anything to you and you have nothing to say or do. So I think that we should be the persons to determine who to rule us. And I want to say it very clear. People should be able, the youth should be able to actively participate in any election. Once you don't participate in elections, why you don't vote, inferior people will end up ruling you and you will accept because you didn't vote. When people just say, no, we cannot register because we already know the outcome of the election. For me, it's a wrong concept. It's a wrong concept. Register, select your candidates within the community that you people know that this is a person that can deliver. Vote for that person, and that person will bring change. Change should start with those that have gone to parliament to represent us. Change will not say, okay, since President Paul Biya has been there for 40 years, meaning that something good cannot come out from there. There are mayors and there are parliamentarians that have been doing wonderful jobs at their various constituencies. It's not President Paul Biya that has come and done it to them. But we have selfish and wicked politicians who will take a pretext or advantage from the fact that President Paul Biya has been there for several years, and when they are elected, they go to parliament, they get their money, look for ways to do their contracts, and forget about their people. I think that our elected officials are the first people that we should hold them accountable before holding President Paul Biya accountable for what he's doing.
Okay, this one says, Cameroonians should register massively and vote for change. Let us try someone else far from the current regime. It's a shame. Crying and standing on the same spot. Javis writing from Bengui. This one right, it says, greetings again, sir. I just wrote about CPDM problem. The speaker is talking let me take on this message before I come to this call. Before I come. Hello, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling us from?
This is Peter calling from Mutingene.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the program that is going on now.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Yeah, but I have a different view.
Yes, sir.
I think that each time I've heard your panelists condemn the other political parties, the opposition political parties, but I seem to think that CPDM is a state-sponsored political party, and we cannot compare them the same with other political parties.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when we keep on saying that you are not seeing opposition parties on the field, it is not correct.
Yes,
that
sir.
is, we are giving them a chance to continue exploiting the population. So I think that we have to encourage the people, encourage the opposition parties, and we should not be like discouraging them.
Yes,
Each
sir.
time I hear people saying there is nobody to vote, that is CPDM language. There is nobody to stand for the opposition. You are looking and you are not seeing somebody on the field. That is to discourage the political parties. That is my take on it.
Thank you very much, sir. This one, right, it says, I wrote about the CPDM problem. The speaker is talking of not choosing the right people. What will he say to the situation where we select those who can deliver, but at the end, the CPDM comes with their own policy of party compensation and change things and put people who will live out of the community? And you just, by for example, the chief who called us from Bangem talked about the fact that when you see, the only time you get to see politicians around, you get to see the members of parliament around, where you get to see them around, just know the election is around the corner.
Yes.
And which is the same thing that people are decrying here. Most of our members of parliament don't have offices in their constituency. Very few did, like Honorable Fritz Eteke, who is no longer in the parliament, hoping to come back. He used to have office in Mutengene, where you can actually go to his constituency and actually lobby. Most of our MPs are having their constituencies in their briefcases and in Yaoundé. Most of them, let's take Menchum in particular. Look at the road network to go to Menchum division. It's deplorable. But it is the region that has given birth to several MPs and top officials who have been and are still being part of the government. And the question many ask, don't these people go to their villages? Look at Bangem, Kupe, Maniguba. The road network is deplorable. And yes, you say we should not blame President Paul Biya. The question we're asking is, are the people of these villages not the ones who glorify the same persons? Because when the people come with bread, they will receive.
The people are glorifying him because they are doing the wrong things. Have you gone to the west of Recent, the west region of Recent? You go to the west region. I've traveled in the west region. Almost all the villages, all the roads in the west regions are tarred. But who is it not the CPDM government that is in power? We have also had big people in government that comes from our own region or our own areas that can do the same thing. But if they don't have that love for their people, why should we blame President Paul Biya? If you are a son of Menchum, you are a parliamentarian from Menchum, and you know what their people in Menchum are passing through, and you cannot help them, and the people you are blaming President Paul Biya. Maybe President Paul Biya has never been to
the problem is,
I've never been to Menchum.
The people,
it should be the problem.
The people have never rejected people who don't work. They keep glorifying them.
The Menchum people who keep on voting them. That is their problem. I cannot blame those politicians because I blame the Menchum people for voting those who cannot do anything. If you look at our situation in Kambe, Ndu, and the rest, since Cameroon got independent, Ndu has never seen a single 1 meter of tar in Ndu. But when we brought Mayor Kanfon Bonu in Ndu, we brought Honorable Tampo Bingala Edgard, yes, in Kambe, and we brought Mayor for Musa in Kambe. You discover that most of the roads in Nduna have been tarred because we selected the good ones. We have put in place the good ones, those who will go to Yaoundé, tap from Yaoundé and give to us. If you go, the ring road is already going on, beautifully being going on, people appreciate it.
And it's at the level it started at the level of Nkambe.
Very good, and everything is being put into order. Go to Nkambe and see how a town has been transformed into a modern city. Go to neighboring villages in Kambe and see how the road network have been linked to all these all these places. Is it not President Paul Biya who is in power? We should, at our level, select those who can do something.
But the question many are also asking is that the problem is when they select, the list comes is somebody else.
They should agitate at their level. They should agitate. I don't know that, but because we in Kambe we selected our candidates and we are enjoying our candidates. And they are delivering to us. You
see, different look like Kupe Maniguba. The road from Kupe Maniguba are horrible. Yeah, when you move to the road, when you are getting to Bonge itself is also a different hell of a cell, especially this period of July, August, September.
Apart from the ring road that is under construction, there's no village in Kambe where a vehicle will not go and leave you at your door. Mayor Formosa make sure that caterpillars, they maintain the roads to all the villages that are linking.
But my question now to you
Kambe.
is, Mr. Kimbang, are the people not the ones who have created this system? Because you see somebody is not delivering,
you keep on voting,
voting the person, and you keep on
complaining
the person, and you keep on singing the person praises. For how long have the people of Menchum, the people of Bongé,
chase away those
how long will they live with this road?
If the parliamentarian for Menchum comes to do campaigns, and they say, we don't want to see you because you have not delivered, we are suffering, go away, then you all reject him, he will go. But if he brings cartons of sardine and bread and canned drinks and maybe rice, and you all take it and you eat at that particular moment, he share new banknotes, you take it and you vote him, he goes there, and you keep on complaining. You are complaining to who?
This was a good afternoon, guys. I want to appreciate you guys, and a beautiful topic. The reason why we can't work is because of the party discipline, and all it comes from Mr. Bia. So he has to blame you. Will be wrong to say he has no blame. This is Takan writing from Tico. Takan writing from Tico says Mr. Bia is the problem. This one says, dear Tah, I find it difficult to agree with your guest. Paul Bia is the coach. If he does not dismisses those who do not deliver, then he should be blamed. The example of the president, the present mayor of Nkambe, is an exception.
Very good.
This is coming from Jacob. This one, right? It says, "Greetings. Technically, we can't totally blame President Paul Biya on infrastructures and development in their constituencies. Cameroon's government, just like any other in the world, got issues. But what happened to the duties of the mayors, the SDOs, the divisional officers? Because as far as I know, we are in a decentralized system of government. Whatever these people tell the president, he will believe it to be so." Joshua writing from Tombe. That's the same thing Mr. Kimbang has been struggling to say, that the issue about Cameroon is not only based on president, but that we should ask our representative what is their own duty, what have they been able to do.
And that's why when you look at this Anglophone crisis, when it started, Honorable Tam Fomingala Edgard went to Nkambe and told the people that, look, we are this Anglophone problem, we cannot say there's no Anglophone problem. There is an Anglophone problem. We cannot destroy the little we have because of the because we are fighting for something big. Let's maintain the little that we have, while crying that government should give more. That one Kambe is still standing. If it's got no one single house has been burned in Kambe. No house has been burned in Kambe. Why? Because the parliamentarian did his work well by educating the population that you cannot destroy the little you have because you are imagining that an El Dorado is coming from somewhere. So our elected officials should be the first person that we should blame.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, can you help ask the man in the studio what Honorable Ngalaje have done in Parliament to solve the Anglophone crisis? I am Felix writing from Bamenda.
Let me answer him. If you look at the constituency where Honorable Ngalaje comes from, he comes from Kambe Central. Kambe Centrals have never known any separatists in Kambe, although of recent we have hitches where and provide devices was detonated in Kambe. If all the parliamentarians could do like what Ngalaje did by making sure that all their own constituencies stand like Kambe have been standing, then the Anglophone problem would have been at least half solved.
Okay. Change can never come overnight.
You don't expect Honorable Ngalaje to go to Kumbu and solve and fix Kumbu, go to Wuma and fix Wum, or go to Mbangem, or go to Kumba and fix Kumba.
Esama Cedrick Aqua from Kumba, from Kumba say change can never come overnight. We must, however, work towards it. If it were possible, the following morning, in the domain of politics, politicians should stop stomach politics, build a united front reorientation of our educational system towards professionalism and industrialization, elections of quality and God-fearing leaders to key elected positions, empowering private sector through this industrialization, and many more. This other one, right, it says that good afternoon to you. I learned that there is an accident in Limbe, Bamenda Road, please, which is please, which an agency is that? Yes, there is an accident in Limbe. It's not an agency. A trailer transporting cement had an, I'm sure it's a collision. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Javis. The problem of Cameroon are so complex that it's going to take so many years that to solve them. I imagine that in our technical schools today, 70% of the courses are theory and 30% practical. Now, how are we going to develop with such educational system? Tafo Vitalis, writing from Cameroon's political capital, Yaoundé. Good afternoon. I am Zico from Mundemba. I will want to differ with the panelists because in everything there is going to in everything that's going on in this our beloved country is from high instruction. That is why we always call on the head of state. How can you imagine that the head of government will visit a region and say the head of state has sent me to come and tell you that? With this, why can't we blame him on what is happening in Cameroon? And which means that this person is saying that Bush take a responsibility. This is coming from Baba Titang Ishaka, writing from Baba One. He says that to change the Cameroon system, we have to start from the president, next with the ministers. When they are all sick, they will run to abroad. They will run to abroad for treatment. Does it mean that Cameroon hospitals are not the best? Why can't they bring these same machines abroad here? In Cameroon, all Cameroonians are optimistic, are opportunistic. Many offices you visit here, and the treatment they give you is terrible. Mr. Biya has no problem. The problem is us. First, to update Cameroon, we must change our mindset. If not, it will be very, very difficult. This one says we can blame the government of our poor state of road in the northwest. When we burn construction equipment every day, we also destroy our roads just to plant explosives to kill ourselves. This is coming also from an anonymous sender. We're out of time. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Tah Mai Javis. Thank you to all those who took time this afternoon to listen to us. I'm sure, as we just said, we should register massively on the electoral list. Maybe a Nsah will come up that will rescue our nation. Thank you very much.
And of course, thank to all those of you who took our time to participate on today's edition of our program. I want to wish a very happy Sunday special one to you, Mr. Nyam Robert, in the United States of America, and your wife, Juan, Madame Juan, and of course your mother, Madame Mary Nyam, who celebrated her birthday last week, Saturday, her 90th birthday in Bamenda. It is the grace of God for you to have 90th birthday, Madame Nyam. We wish you a very, very long and prosperous life as you continue to celebrate with your children and the entire children who have been contributing to help those in need, especially Mr. Nyam Robert, that's donated and keeps donating support to those who are internally displaced in helping them to put smile on their faces. He has paid school fees to several students in Cameroon to enable them to have education as far as the crisis is concerned. Big Benji, thank you very much for the production. Alan, thank you very much. I leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you these days is that you should go and register massively for an election. My name is Tah Mai Javis, Cameroon's commercial capital. Douala Feng Gudrombange Koto. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.